Hey everyone. Welcome back to MindBlud English Podcast. I'm really happy you're here. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a conversation in English and suddenly thought, wait, how do I say this in English? You know exactly what you want to say? In your own language, the sentence is already clear in your mind. You know the meaning. You know the feeling. You know exactly what you want to express. But then, when it's time to say it in English, your brain freezes. You start translating. You think about grammar. You search for the perfect word. You think, is this sentence correct? And while you're still trying to build the sentence in your head, the conversation has already moved on. Sound familiar? If it does, don't worry. There's nothing wrong with you. This is one of the most common struggles English learners face. And here's the interesting thing. You might actually understand a lot of English. You may know hundreds or even thousands of English words. You might watch English movies and YouTube videos. You might listen to English songs and podcasts. You might even understand native speakers surprisingly well. But when it's your turn to speak, suddenly, your brain says, wait, I need to translate this first. And that's the problem we're going to talk about today. How can you speak English without translating everything in your head? How can you train your brain to stop going through your native language first and start connecting your thoughts directly to English? Because speaking English fluently isn't just about learning more words or memorizing more grammar rules. It's also about training your brain to think, react, and respond in English. And the good news is, you can train your brain to do this. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how. So put on your headphones, get comfortable, and stay with me until the end. Let's get started. Part 1. Why do we translate? First, let's understand why this happens. Imagine you are learning English, but your first language is Telugu, Hindi, Tamil, Bengali, or another language. When you want to say, I'm hungry, your brain might first think of the sentence in your native language. Then your brain searches for the English translation. Then you say, I'm hungry. This process is completely normal when you're a beginner. The problem is, if you continue doing this for every sentence, speaking English becomes slow and tiring. For example, imagine you're talking to a friend. Your friend asks, what did you do yesterday? You want to say, yesterday, I went to the market, bought some vegetables, and then came home. But instead of thinking directly in English, your brain starts building the sentence in your native language. Then it translates. Then it checks the grammar. Then it searches for vocabulary. And suddenly, you don't know what to say. You might even know all the words, but you can't bring them out quickly. That's frustrating. And sometimes learners think, my English is bad. But that's not necessarily true. Your English may not be bad. Your brain simply hasn't developed the habit of using English directly yet. Think about your first language. Do you translate every sentence before speaking? Of course not. If someone asks you, what did you eat for breakfast? You don't stop and translate. You simply answer. Why? Because your brain has connected the idea directly to the language. That's the goal we want to reach with English. Not perfect English. Not complicated English. Direct English. You want your brain to go from idea English instead of idea native language, translation English. That is the difference. Part 2. Don't try to think in perfect English. Now here's something very important. Many English learners make this mistake. They try to think in perfect English. Don't do that. You don't need perfect English to think in English. You need simple English. For example, you're sitting in your room. Don't try to create a complicated sentence like, I am currently positioned in a comfortable location within my bedroom. Nobody talks like that. Just think, I'm in my room. That's English. Maybe you're thirsty. Think, I'm thirsty. You need your phone. Think, where's my phone? You're going outside. Think, I'm going outside. You're tired. Think, I'm tired. You have work tomorrow. Think, I have work tomorrow. These sentences are simple, but that's exactly what we want. Because your goal is to train your brain to connect everyday thoughts with English. Let's practice together. Imagine you're waking up in the morning. Don't translate. Just listen and repeat. I'm awake. I need to get up. I'm still tired. I need some water. Where's my phone? Oh, it's on the table. I need to get ready. I'm running late. I need to hurry. That's real English. You don't need complicated vocabulary. You need English that you can actually use. Part 3. Start with your everyday life. Here's one of the easiest ways to start thinking in English. Use English to describe your everyday life. Why does this work? Because you already know what you're doing. You don't need to invent ideas. Your daily life gives you thousands of things to talk about. Let's imagine you're making tea. Instead of thinking in your native language, try thinking. I'm making tea. I need some water. The water is hot. I need a cup. Where's the sugar? Oh, here it is. I'm adding some sugar. It smells good. That's enough. I'm going to drink my tea. Look at how simple those sentences are. But you're training your brain. You're teaching your brain. This action is connected to these English words. And you can do this anywhere. When you're cooking, I'm cutting the vegetables. The pan is hot. I need some oil. I'm making dinner. When you're cleaning, I need to clean my room. This room is messy. I need to put this away. Where does this go? When you're traveling, where is the bus stop? I need a ticket. How long does it take? I think I'm lost. Let me check the map. The more you connect English with your real life, the more natural English becomes. Part 4. Think in phrases, not single words. Now let's talk about something extremely useful. Don't learn English only one word at a time. Learn phrases. For example, you learn the word decision. You know what it means. But when you speak, you may not know how to use it. Instead, learn. Make a decision. Then learn. I need to make a decision. Or, I haven't made a decision yet. That's much more useful. Let's take another example. Maybe you learn the word late. Good. But learn the phrase I'm running late. This is a very natural expression. For example, sorry, I'm running late. I'll be there in 10 minutes. That's something you can actually use. Another example. Interested. Instead of only learning the word, learn. I'm interested in. For example, I'm interested in photography. I'm interested in learning English. I'm interested in starting a business. Another useful phrase. It depends. You can use this all the time. Someone asks, are you going out tonight? You can say, it depends. Another person asks, do you like spicy food? You can say, it depends. These phrases become automatic when you practice them enough. So instead of memorizing thousands of individual words, learn useful groups of words. Your brain will remember them as complete pieces. Part 5. What if you forget a word? Now let's talk about something that scares many English learners. What happens when you forget a word? Let's say you're talking to someone. You want to say, umbrella, but suddenly, you forget the word. You know the object. You can see it in your mind. But the English word is gone. What do? Do you stop speaking? No. You explain it. You can say, it's the thing you use when it rains. That's perfectly fine. Maybe you forget the word fridge. You can say, the machine in the kitchen where we keep food cold. Maybe you forget scissors. You can say, the thing we use to cut paper. This is a very important speaking skill. It's called paraphrasing. You explain the idea using other words. Native speakers do this too. Everyone forgets words sometimes. So don't believe that good English speakers know every word. They don't. They simply know how to keep the conversation going. And that's a huge difference. Your goal shouldn't be, I must know every English word. Your goal should be, I can communicate even when I don't know a word. That's confidence. Part 6. Stop being afraid of mistakes. There's another reason people translate in their heads. They're afraid of making mistakes. They think, what if my grammar is wrong? What if they laugh? What if I use the wrong tense? What if my pronunciation isn't perfect? And because they're afraid, they don't speak. But here's the problem. You cannot become comfortable speaking English without actually speaking English. You have to make mistakes. Think about a child learning their first language. Children don't wait until their grammar is perfect. They say things. They make mistakes. They hear the correct version. They try again. And slowly, they improve. You need the same attitude. If you say, yesterday, I go to the market, someone might correct you. Yesterday, I went to the market. Great. Now you've learned something. The mistake wasn't a failure. The mistake was part of the learning process. So give yourself permission to speak imperfectly. Instead of thinking, I need to speak perfect English. Think, I need to communicate clearly. That's a much healthier goal. 13 Part 7. The look around and speak method. Now I'm going to give you a simple exercise. You can do this every day. It's called look around and speak. Look around you. Choose 5 things you can see. For example, I'm sitting on a chair. There is a table in front of me. My phone is next to my laptop. There is a window behind me. The room is quiet. Very simple. Now add actions. My phone is charging. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm sitting in my room. I'm drinking water. Now add feelings. I'm feeling relaxed. I'm a little tired. I'm excited about tomorrow. Now add opinions. I like this room. I think this chair is comfortable. I don't really like this weather. And suddenly, you have a conversation with yourself. You are practicing English without needing a teacher. And you can do this for 5 minutes every day. 5 minutes. That's it. Part 8. The 5-minute English thinking routine. Let's create a simple daily routine. You can do this in the morning, during a walk, or before going to bed. Minute 1. Describe your surroundings. Say, I'm in my room. The window is open. My phone is on the table. The light is on. Minute 2. Talk about what you're doing. I'm getting ready. I'm making breakfast. I'm going to work. I'm checking my messages. Minute 3. Talk about yesterday. Yesterday, I went to work. I had lunch with my friend. I watched a movie. I went to bed late. Minute 4. Talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to wake up early. I have some work to do. I'm going to call my friend. I might go out in the evening. Minute 5. Give your opinion. I think English is difficult sometimes, but I'm improving. I enjoy learning new words. I want to speak more confidently. That's 5 minutes. But if you do this every day, your brain starts changing. English becomes less like a school subject and more like a language you actually use. 16 Part 9. Don't translate every word. Here's another important tip. When you're listening to English, don't try to translate every single word. For example, imagine you hear, I'm looking forward to seeing you. If you translate every word individually, looking, forward, seeing, it may sound strange. Instead, learn the whole expression. I'm looking forward to seeing you. It means you're excited or happy about something that will happen in the future. For example, I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm looking forward to meeting you. I'm looking forward to my vacation. Learn the expression as one unit. This is how natural language works. We don't always build sentences word by word. We use patterns. So when you hear useful expressions, don't immediately ask, what does every individual word mean? Ask, how do people use this whole expression? That's a much better question. Part 10. Let's practice together. Okay, now it's your turn. I'm going to ask you some questions. Don't translate. Don't worry about grammar. Just answer in English. Ready? Here we go. What did you do this morning? Pause the podcast if you need more time. Think in English. Maybe. I woke up at 7. I had breakfast. I took a shower. I went to work. Good. Next question. What are you doing right now? Maybe. I'm listening to this podcast. I'm sitting in my room. I'm practicing English. Excellent. Next. What are you going to do tomorrow? Maybe. I'm going to work. I'm going to study. I'm going to meet my friend. Good. Now one more. What is one thing you want to improve about your English? Maybe. I want to improve my pronunciation. I want to speak more confidently. I want to learn more vocabulary. I want to understand native speakers better. Excellent. Did you notice something? You didn't need complicated English. You just needed to express your ideas. And that's the goal. Part 11. A very important mindset change. I want you to remember one thing. Don't wait until your English is perfect before you start thinking in English. Your English becomes better because you use it, not the other way around. You don't need to reach some magical level before you can think in English. Start with 5 words, then 10, then simple sentences, then short conversations, then longer conversations, little by little. For example, today you might think, I'm tired. Tomorrow, I'm tired because I didn't sleep well. Later, I'm feeling a little tired today because I didn't get enough sleep last night. See what happened? The sentence became more detailed naturally. You don't need to force complicated English. Start simple. Build slowly. Part 12. Your 7-day challenge. Now I'd like to give you a challenge. For the next 7 days, spend just 5 minutes a day thinking in English. Day 1. Describe your room. Day 2. Describe your morning. Day 3. Talk about your favorite food. Day 4. Talk about your family or friends. Day 5. Talk about your job or studies. Day 6. Talk about your weekend plans. Day 7. Talk about your English learning journey. And here's the important part. Don't write everything down first. Don't translate. Just speak. If you make a mistake, keep going. If you forget a word, explain it. If your sentence is simple, that's okay. You're training your brain. And remember, simple English spoken confidently is much better than perfect English that never gets spoken. And that's where we're going to finish today's episode of MindBlud English. Today, we talked about something that almost every English learner experiences. Translating in your head. Remember the process we want to change. Instead of idea native language translation, English, we want idea English. And you can build that habit. Start small. Describe your surroundings. Talk about your daily activities. Learn phrases instead of individual words. Don't panic when you forget a word. Explain it in another way. And most importantly, don't be afraid of mistakes. Your mistakes are not proof that your English is bad. They are proof that you're practicing. So from today, whenever you're doing something simple, making coffee, walking, cooking, cleaning, traveling, getting ready for work, try to describe it in English. You don't need a classroom. You don't need a textbook. You can turn your everyday life into an English lesson. And if you do that consistently, one day you'll notice something amazing. You'll be doing something, and an English sentence will appear in your mind automatically. No translation, no long pause, no searching, just English. That's the moment we're working toward. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, keep practicing, keep listening, and keep speaking. And remember, don't wait to think in perfect English. Start thinking in simple English today. I'll see you in the next episode of MindBlud English. Until then, keep learning, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself.